out, boys! Stay back, beast! Christ, he's... Oh, Christ!
This man stunned me with his face. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be...
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage. Yet I see the pain...
Very well, priest. As you seem.
Open your heart, my son. Tell...
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What...
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
There. I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you any news of...
I'll never know what goes on in that place.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you...
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye. Good evening.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
I have found Samuel.
I already expected the worst.
Yes.
Samuel steadily made donations.
Have you recently...
That woman is as depraved as Jezebel.
Really?
This woman runs no medical facility.
What do you mean when you say that I am...
All sign.
Quite a
But you are...
Well,
As a
what do you...
the big...
I...
It's far.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole...
No! Samuel was a...
Your precious Samuel used you.
If that's true.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how...
Think what you will. When this...
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision.
A laughing queen.
This epidemic is her feast.
But who is...
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the...
Why...
I...
You sent a man to die because of a... Good evening.
It's...
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one...
You are just another heartless man.
No!
You're not the savior of London.
I take no pleasure in this awful...
I have heard... Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir.
You don't really make a living from your scribbling.
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard.
Still,
With thanks to my parents, actually.
you seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first...
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Right, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Turn around, sir. You're made!
Good evening.
Have you any news?
I can't believe that people are naive enough to trust her medicine.
Goodbye.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
I cannot enter.
Match for the Swanborough cordial. The Swanborough cordial.
me the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
It's locked, all right.
It's a leech! Kill it! Greenwood shall prevail!
Doesn't like fire, does it?
The beast must die!
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making. This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you? I am the land. You are our champion. You selected me. Chose me. As shall my children yet to come. What is it you seek? This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged. This has something to do with the epidemic. Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur. I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
coward blinded by fear.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the guard.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me.
I do.
Please then.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast.
Exactly. And now guard of Pre...
Rest assured, I will protect.
McCullum is a fanatic. The guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable...
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here... Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe my eyes.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death.
I'm always here.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her.
Is there sufficient vitality?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly...
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more...
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law.
What more can you tell me?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my...
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with hope.
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan.
Thank you, my lady.